Welcome to KREM News at Noon. I'm Laura Papetti, and we begin by talking, of course, about the weather and the cold temperatures. When it's cold outside, I stay in. Thomas Patrick goes outside. Thomas, you even have the hat on right now.
Yeah, I think tomorrow we'll forego our outdoor weather center because we are forecasting temperatures to be well below zero by tomorrow morning, and it stays that way through this weekend. We are now just hours away from getting by far the coldest weather we've had so far this winter. Even our temperatures currently are actually down from this morning because the Arctic cold front has already passed through Spokane and it's starting to move into our southern areas. You see 29 in Pullman, 24 in Moscow. That actually just dropped in this last hour, but still 41 in Lewiston. So that's about where the edge of that cold front lies. I had plotted this just a minute ago, and there it is, right over the Palouse. So the Arctic air, which is dropping in from the north, will cause our temperatures to drop even during the afternoon, even with a little bit of sunshine that's coming out from behind me and towards the south. There is a break in the clouds, but that sunshine is just not going to work its magic this time around because the Arctic air does win that fight. There is still some snow attached to that cold front, actually quite the snow squall that moved through Pullman and Moscow and just drifting ever so farther south. So areas along Highway 195 and 95 in Idaho still could get some pretty intense snowfall in this region where the visibilities would be dropped pretty quickly. But the focus here, of course, is the cold weather. We are under wind chill watches, which likely get upgraded into warnings later today for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Our wind chills will drop to near 40 degrees below zero, with the raw temperatures tomorrow morning already starting out below 0 degrees. And coming up, I'm going to detail just how cold all of our locations in the inland Northwest will be this weekend and when was the last time we saw weather that was even remotely this cold.
All right, my friend, thank you. And as Thomas just mentioned, this week, temperatures expected to drop in a big way, with many days only expected to warm into the single digits. Spokane's new mayor, Lisa Brown, has shared some information about what the city is doing to prepare. She says her office is working to expand emergency capacity at homeless shelters ahead of the extreme cold. Also, city libraries will be open during business hours for anyone looking to stay warm. Libraries are open from 9 till 7, Monday through Thursday, and then 10 to 5 on Friday and Saturday, and noon to 4 on Sundays. And if you can't get to a shelter for any reason, the Salvation Army has vans that will pick you up and bring you to a shelter. These vans operate 24/7. If you need a ride, just call the number. We've put it on your screen, 509-280-6860. Spokane Transit Authority buses will also offer free rides to anyone heading to a warming center or shelter as long as it stays below freezing. And the only mass warming shelter in North Idaho is preparing for those chilly temperatures. St. Vincent de Paul warming shelter holds up to 60 people and can host both men and women. However, it is expected to get to capacity this week. So far this winter, the shelter has opened for more than 20 nights and hosted more than 350 people. The shelter only opens when temperatures are below freezing at night, and that's because the shelter costs about $800 a night to run. Last year, the nonprofit spent almost $100,000 on the warming center.
It's totally supported based on thrift store sales, and then we have nice donors. We got to bring people in out of the cold. People die when it gets that cold, and so we do our best.
Also, people staying the night have access to housing and job services as well. St. Vincent says they provide a shuttle from their facility in Coeur d'Alene to the warming shelter in Post Falls. And in smaller communities, they've seen churches open up as warming shelters as well. So the cold weather can be incredibly dangerous, we know, for everyone, but it is especially dangerous for vulnerable people who face greater risk in the cold. So it can include so many people, from newborns to elderly people, anyone with a chronic illness, and people experiencing homelessness who just don't have access to shelter. Kids are also more susceptible to the cold. Nurses saying because kids are smaller than adults, this means they are at a higher risk for frostbite and hypothermia. Experts recommend, of course, when you can, staying indoors to stay warm. And if you need to go out, please bundle up as much as you can. And if you do go outside, it is important to catch frostbite and hypothermia early on and deal with it quickly. Some warning signs of hypothermia are confusion, stiff muscles, and difficulty speaking. And if you notice any of these signs, seek medical attention right away. Also, get to a warm area. Take off any wet clothes and put on dry layers. You should also place the impacted areas, say like your fingers or toes, in warm water, but make sure it's not too hot. And when it gets this cold, energy bills can go up as well. So our Nicole Hernandez looking into some ways you can keep your energy bill down during these very cold temperatures. Nicole?
So of course the easiest way to stay warm during this cold snap is staying inside, but let's talk how to keep your energy bill down during these extreme cold temperatures. We came to my house actually because I have a perfect example of what not to do. Underneath my door you can kind of see light coming in, daylight into the house. That of course means cold air is coming in as well. Vista's great tip is if you seal up your doorways and your windows that you can increase your energy efficiency by 10%.
So a great guideline we use is if you can see daylight around your door, if you were to, calculate that the size of that hole just by being able to see the daylight, it's about the size of a softball in hole size hole in your wall. So that'd be like having a big hole in your wall that's just open to the outside.
So because of that, Avista says to cover gaps with door snakes, close your drapes and your blinds, and cover your windows with plastic if you can. You can also start making choices about what temperature to keep your house at and or what rooms to heat or not to heat. Make sure you switch out your furnace filters and try not to use space heaters if possible. They're actually more expensive to run. If you do lose power, to help keep some of the heat in, you can shut the doors to the rooms in your house, move everyone into one room because body heat will help keep everyone warm. If you have a natural gas water heater, you'll still have hot water in that situation, so you can actually fill water bottles with hot water to help keep you warm. And don't start burning things in your house unless you have an actual functioning fireplace. And one other great local resource to use is the SNAP website, snapwa.org. You can go there. It will pull up this title screen. If you click here, apply for energy assistance, it takes you to a website that lets you apply for an appointment through SNAP that will have a representative walk you through some of the things you can do to help keep your energy bill down during these cold temperatures. In Spokane, Nicole Hernandez, KREM 2 News.